A martini, shaken, not stirred.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Houston, we have a problem.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
I'm your number one fan.
And here we go.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Zach, and I'm along here aside with, as we say, the meat and potatoes of the show, Johnny Boy, and we're here to talk all about our bonus episode for the month of Joker.
Yes, sir, Zach. Thanks for that introduction. October is here, and man, let's just get right into it. Joker came out October the 4th, 2019. And man, this episode is, I didn't think it was going to be getting this much praise or this much, it's pretty heavily anticipated before we even, got into the thick of things, but this movie took off, and it took off fast. Mm-hmm. It's already at $93 million for the weekend, and
set a new October record.
It's one of those movies, man, but it's directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix, mm-hmm. Robert De Niro, and
Zazie Beetz.
Speaking of this cast, I thought she was really good in the film.
Yes.
The mom, Frances Conroy, which that last name sounds pretty familiar if you ask me. I don't know if there's any relation to Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, but
maybe. It'd be ironic if it was.
Speaking of, let's just talk about it, man. I mean, this whole episode is probably going to be spoiler heavy, so if you have not seen The Joker, by all means, what are you waiting for? Go out, see it, come back and revisit the episode, because the rest of this film is nothing but spoiler and spoiler heavy.
I was going to try not to do spoilers, but we there's no way we can't without
There's
talking
no
about
way.
it.
I mean, you can talk about the trailer, and let's talk about some of the trailers for a minute, because the first few trailers, after you see the movie, the trailers don't give nothing away.
No, they don't.
And at first, when I saw the first one was maybe 30 seconds, then
mm-hmm.
it gives you a minute and a half, then 2 minutes. Even in those 2.5 minute trailers, it doesn't give nothing away.
No.
To me,
they did a really good job of keeping closed lips on this.
Yeah. I kind of wish, though. I'm just going to say it, guys. To me, this is a masterpiece.
Is this well, let me just go ahead and say it. Let me go ahead and ask.
Let's talk about it.
Is this your favorite movie of the year?
This is my favorite movie of the year, and it's not even close. I was sitting in that theater, and let's take a look at this first. My 24 hours was, woke up at 8 o'clock Saturday night, went to work, got off at 8 a.m., went to the movie at 10, and I was still so mesmerized in front of that screen with those performances and the story and Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. You see him just blossoming right there in front of you. Mm-hmm. And before this movie, my favorite was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This beat it by a landslide.
Oh, wow.
By a landslide. Mm-hmm. And it's great. What about you?
Yeah,
First, usually on this podcast, first off, hey, I'm Juan. Zach, introduced yourself. And let's just talk. Usually we'll go around and have first impressions. We only have the one impression. Yeah. I told you mine. What was yours?
I really like this movie. I was and I was talking to a few people, which I'll talk about here in a second, about their reactions to it. Man, it takes you on a journey, man. From almost it's it does a very good job of dealing with the topic of mental illness, and it has a lot of social commentary about our times. But man, like, the reason you go to this movie, if anything else, if you just, whether you like the Joker or you're a DC fan or whatever, Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Man. You remember how I said when we saw the trailer to the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, and we said, let's just go ahead and give it to Tom Hanks?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna cut you off and say, cancel Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, because it's a given fact that Joaquin Phoenix should, if he doesn't get nominated, there's something wrong with the committee.
I'll just say that if he doesn't get nominated, at least we will have a giant rant about
Could you imagine that rant episode?
Oh my god!
But
he will get nominated. There's no possible way.
I'm gonna step out on a limb, and I'm gonna say it in my review that I wrote online, which you guys can check out on Facebook.com, and you can check out on IMDb. My review simply said my favorite movie of the year, and this rivals The Dark Knight as my favorite DC film of all time.
I can see that. There was someone I saw a review that said on IMDb, it said Joaquin Phoenix equals Oscar, on level with The Dark Knight, but even darker than The Dark Knight.
I don't think that there's anybody living or dead that has played the Joker better than Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm not saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here and argue about Joker all day long. I mean, I think without a doubt Heath Ledger was definitely the...
Now, don't get me wrong, that Heath Ledger's performance...
But, Heath and Joaquin are both different versions.
That's true.
Of the character.
And I was going to say that, you can only do so much in a PG-13 film.
Exactly.
With the way this movie was written and produced and the story was thrown out to you, for a rated R version, you finally get to see the Joker get dirty.
Exactly.
You finally get to see him snap, and you finally get to... I don't know about you, but at the beginning of the movie, I felt sorry for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you first meet Arthur Fleck, who is basically this down on his luck actor, I guess you could say actor, who basically is a clown who kind of stands outside consignment stores and say deals and all this. He gets beat up. He's kind of been given a bad hand in life.
Yeah.
And then, as the movie progresses, you just get to see this unraveling of just his mind, his physical transformation into this character. And, I think, there's a lot of moments in the movie that you could say he turned into the Joker. But probably the snap was probably the train sequence where he killed the three guys.
The first train sequence, yes. When he finally shot that gun for the first time and killed somebody... Again, you it's a movie, and he's performing, and but the darkness that he showed as soon as that gun went off, I was mesmerized.
Yeah. I
don't think that there's been anybody in the last 5 years, maybe even longer, that has taken that just not the Joker character in general, but just a character, and completely just made it their own. Mm-hmm. Like. I tell you one thing, he ruined Suicide Squad for me.
No.
I don't...
you know what I mean? Jared Leto looks awful.
Yeah. I don't think
this portrayal.
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to watch that and think of anything but negative thoughts now. Yeah. And before this movie, I enjoyed Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. I probably will still enjoy it, but the Joker is going to be just a laughingstock.
Yeah.
Let's give some credit to Todd Phillips.
Man, for a guy... basically a comedy director. He did all the three of the Hangovers, Due Date, and then he goes to this very psychological, dark comic book. Well, not even a comic book movie, just like a thriller.
Yeah,
that's a huge leap, and not many. I don't think there's not many directors that could do that.
No,
I'm surprised Scorsese didn't do this because there's a huge influence of Taxi Driver in this.
Taxi Driver,
Clockwork Orange,
The Comedian with Robert De Niro, which the curtains and the way Robert De Niro approaches himself on camera, it makes it look like it's the exact same movie.
Yeah. I also got... You mentioned there's two train sequences. The first is when he kills the guy, but the second is during the riot. When they're chasing the train, I kind of got like a French Connection vibe.
Yeah.
So...
Or even, I don't know if you've seen it, but The Network from 1978, I think.
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
almost the same thing where that movie kicks off with troubled anchor who's had it up to here, and he starts off his news broadcast by saying on his last day he's going to kill himself on air.
Yeah, that is true.
And I don't think I can do this movie justice. This entire bonus episode is just going to be me just flocking over the scenes. Another good thing that I think is noteworthy is the score.
Oh, dude, that score was just so, like, even the beginning to the end, just, it's chill. I had goosebumps
Did it
all
not,
the way through.
exactly. Did it not feel like you were watching The Dark Knight? Or some Dark Knight scenes were in there? Like, the way that score was written, I think it was heavily influenced by The Dark Knight.
Yeah, you know, did you kind of think this was a movie you shouldn't be watching? Did you get that vibe?
I did feel like I was unsettled at times, but I did feel like, almost that I should be reporting what I'm seeing. But one thing I want to talk to you about right quick is why do you think some of the negative reviews are out there about this movie? About it's too violent, and then some people were protesting, and then some people saying that, some theaters shouldn't have it because of the bad incidents from 2012.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, I understand that particular theater not showing the movie. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but to be honest, guys, this movie is not as violent as you think it is, but I will say when the violence does hit, it goes all in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not... Because I was expecting the way, if they were talking about on the news and everything, that it was just going to be like, from minute one, kill after kill after kill. And that's not
like it's
going to
be a Saw movie or something.
Yeah. And that's not what it is at all.
But you know what? I don't understand. This wasn't... This was violent, but this wasn't any more violent than Deadpool or John Wick Chapter 3 or any of the John Wick movies for that matter.
Seems like we always bring John Wick into violence.
But yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna be harsh on one movie,
it's nowhere near violent as The Departed. It's about the same level.
Yeah.
You
want to take a quick break though, and we can talk a little bit about Martin Scorsese's line that he did say over the week about the Marvel movies. What are your quick thoughts about that?
Well, to be honest, I haven't heard. You just bring this up to me, so I don't know anything. So,
well, Martin Scorsese came out and said that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not true. Is not true art. It's not,
it's not deserving of being called art.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think of those kind of comments? Especially now that he's got touches on the Joker movie. I think he's right. I think it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel movies are like events almost.
Yeah.
Almost like a giant TV series.
But
how about some of the Joker?
But it's the same. It's the same thing that when Spielberg came out and said films that are on Netflix and TV they should be nominated for Oscars.
Right.
Everyone's going to have their opinion on what art is and what it's subjective. Like you said, we're in your room and you have 2 Avengers posters up and we love those films, but compared to something like this or Departed or Saving Private Ryan, they're not. Those are popcorn blockbusters. The other films I mentioned, Joker, Departed, Saving Private Ryan, those are more serious. I would show those in a film class type films.
Talking about Joker again, let's go back to some of the homage tributes, if you will, that they paid to Jokers in the past. Mm-hmm. First off, his attire that he puts on before he goes to see Robert De Niro's character looked just like out of the comic book or the 1989 Batman. Mm-hmm. And then you have I don't know if I'm gonna have to do some research, but I could have sworn the card that he had with the blonde lady on it, I could have sworn that actress is the same actress that plays Jack Napier's girlfriend in Batman from 1989. I could be mistaken, but I think that the one that had the mask on her face, where her face was that actress. Mm-hmm. And then a little bit closer to the end of the movie, the cop car scene where he's looking out the window.
That was.
I don't know about you, but the only thing that kept going through my mind is Alfred talking to Christian Bale when he said most people just want to
watch the world burn. Yeah.
Did that go to your mind?
I didn't catch that till you just said that. So I didn't catch the other Joker references, but I did catch that one. I think they were trying to do something that was both new and, paying tribute to the other portrayals of the Joker. Getting into some more other specifics about the movie, I loved the whole... One of the things I loved most about this film was the laugh. His laugh when he starts laughing. It's... the Joker's laugh is always the iconic moment in the movie, but this is kind of like a reaction, or like a... not so much a reaction, but like a problem. But it's almost like a side effect of his illness. The laugh, and he has that laughing card. Like, I apologize. I love that part.
I love the scene where he was trying to make the kid on the bus laugh, and he couldn't stop. He couldn't stop laughing. And when he gave the card, I'm like, then the way he does laugh, and it's uncontrollable. Again, that's something out of like the animated series or the comic book. Like, the character in general in this movie is probably portrayed better than any other Joker character in any other, at least live action film.
Right.
Now I got to bring up the curse.
Oh yeah.
There's never been a live edition of the Joker to do more than one movie. You can argue that Cesar Romero did multiple episodes, and yes, that's true. But ever since the 1966 Batman movie, there has never been an actor who has played the Joker more than once. Mm-hmm. Whether it be Jack Nicholson's Joker just died at the end, so you write him off. Heath Ledger's passing, Cesar Romero's passing, and then the bad luck fortune of just the way Jared Leto looked and the money. That was just a bad deal overall.
Yeah.
Do you think Joaquin... I know the movie just came out and we're already talking sequels, but do you think Joaquin Phoenix is going to be that actor to play the Joker more than once, or do you think this is it?
I think it depends on what comes next, really. There is future talk whether he'll join. I don't think he'll ever join like the DCEU or anything like that.
Oh, no.
But I think if the script is good, I think if what they do with the character going forward, I think even if Todd Phillips comes back to direct another one and the script is good, I think Joaquin will come back.
They did ask Joaquin Phoenix about a crossover with Robert Pattinson's Batman, mm-hmm. and there is rumors that's kind of fluctuating out there that Matt Reeves' The Batman will not be a part of the DCEU either. And I'm thinking if that's the case, maybe somewhere down the line, would there be a crossover? Robert Pattinson is young enough to be that young Batman that just saw his parents die.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, at the end of this movie.
Yeah, which I want to get into that here in a minute. It's like I said, it's possible. I think it just depends how good the script is and if Joaquin is willing to come back.
Because that performance, when that movie was over, man. I was tired. I wanted to stand up and I stood up and clapped, but I looked psycho because everybody was just heading for the doors and it was 12 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, mm-hmm. and I'm just the only one standing up loud as I can clapping, and I'm like, never mind. So I just walked out of the theater.
Yeah, so before we get to some other spoiler stuff, how was your theater reaction? Because mine, I went and saw it in the IMAX at the Warren, and it was not even halfway full. There was two people down from us. There was a man and a woman. It was a man and a woman. The woman, I think, fell asleep through the movie. And then the guy was just like, when the movie ended, was like, that was awesome. And the woman woke up and was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I will say I have read some negative reviews about the movie being slow and had pacing issues. First off, no, it had no pacing issues to me. Is it a slow movie? Yes. It's not an action-packed Batman action film. It's not that at all. Get that out of your mind.
Yeah. This is a psychological character piece.
Yes.
of a person.
Yes, and almost you could honestly even take the word and the name Joker out of it, and it would still be a phenomenal movie.
You really could have done.
You could call it Arthur.
Yeah, you could have called it Arthur, and then as a side, as the end of the film, you could literally call it. He says, "Can I be called Joker?" And that's it. And you know what it is.
Yeah. That's really good actually. But yeah, my theater reaction was quiet, but there was a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
A lot of laughs.
I had a few laughs.
And it was kind of disturbing, but I laughed, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one who laughed. But one of the biggest pops in the theater was when he killed the guy who gave him the gun, and the little person started crying and running away. The theater popped for that, and they were laughing at him the entire time. And then when Joaquin would spook him, and he jumped at him, they laughed at that.
But
now I will say there's one scene that was kind of hard to watch. I don't know if you want to agree with me or what, but it was the scene where he suffocated his mom.
I knew,
but it wasn't
hard for me to watch. I don't know if that tells anybody about me, but I knew it was coming because I knew that he was going to figure out who his past was, because the movie towards the middle kind of alludes to the idea that he is the offspring of Thomas Wayne, and then it's quickly revealed that no, he's not. He is just a adopted, abused, kind of left for dead type situation. I
kind of knew it was going that way just because if they followed some true, origin stories, the Joker has no past.
Right.
He doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't know where he came from, who he is. So when they said that he was adopted, I'm like, that makes sense. And I knew he was going to kill his mom, but the only thing that was a little unsettling for me was literally when
how he does it.
Well, the camera just focused on him, and I was like, "That's beautiful." The shot was beautiful.
Well, and to me, I say that it was the start of when he killed the guys on the train. That moment right there, after he kills his mom, was it. He is now the Joker.
How about the medication too? Because he realizes that without the medication, he feels good.
He feels normal, almost alive.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other train sequence when he's finally in full gear and the cops are chasing him and he's on the train with all those clowns and the masks. I thought that was a beautiful scene too.
Yeah, it was. The movie altogether is just beautifully shot. I mean, if you get to see this in IMAX, they did use IMAX cameras for this, so it takes up the entire screen. One of the things I love about it was the usage of the stairs at the beginning when he's climbing. It's like dull, it's sad, and then like when he becomes Joker, he's like dancing down the stairs, and like it's just like the symbolism of the stairs twist halfway through the film.
Yeah. I mentioned it to you earlier in the week. I want to take a little pause and talk about Jimmy Kimmel. The Jimmy Kimmel part.
Yeah, you texted me this.
I didn't find out about it until just a few days ago. And Joaquin Phoenix has had history. He's had the issues, some kind of a breakdown, I guess, if you will. And he's one of those actors like Leo and some other people that they don't like seeing themselves on camera.
They don't do interviews, right?
Right. Well, they also don't like seeing themselves. They don't rewatch their movies.
Right.
So the bone I got to pick is, we have this time of Hollywood right now is really, really good as far as like how many good actors there are out there. And I would put him up there maybe in the top 10, of current actors. Is it interviews like this that kind of makes you want to just be like, see, this is why people either A, go away, B, hurt themselves, or C, just get heavily induced into drug-like comas to where they don't want to be a part of Hollywood anymore. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, basically, Joaquin was on Jimmy Kimmel promoting the movie, and then towards the end of the interview, he showed some B-roll footage, I guess you would say, of him just like preparing for the role, and it's Joaquin doing Joaquin things, and he was embarrassed by it, But
he didn't know what to say. You're on live television. No, I don't know if it was live. But, I mean, they didn't edit any of it out.
No.
And they just showed it. And he was embarrassed. He apologized to the audience. Joaquin shouldn't have had to do that.
No, I mean, look, and there was another interview I listened to. He wasn't talking about that, but he was just talking about, he doesn't consider, even though we think he is, he doesn't consider himself a, what's the word?
A top actor?
Well, none of the top actor, but kind of like Daniel Day-Lewis, he stays in character.
He's not a method actor.
He's not a method actor. He doesn't consider himself a method actor, even though he kind of is.
Yeah, the kind of stuff you can see what he does in between takes or...
And so, like, look, he was just saying, look, I come to work, I do what I'm supposed to do, and then when we're done, that's it. You know, I go home and I start it all over again. You know, I just think that Joaquin, overall, as an actor of texture, he's a quality actor, and you're going to get a quality performance, whether it's this, The Master, even Signs. Yeah. You know, you know what you're in for.
Which is very, very true. I mean, and he dedicates his entire, you know, he dedicated his body, his mind, his soul. And some people say that that's what drove Heath Ledger over the edge. That he was too in-depth with the character. But this movie, man, has taken off, and so far this is the highest grossing film in the month of October in film history.
That's crazy.
I saw that today, so...
Which is weird, considering all the press that, you know, there was going to be some kind of event at a movie theater. People still came out and supported it.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sick people out there, and I'm super, super glad that this movie is, A, nothing happened opening weekend, and I'm happy that, B, it's making almost $100 million opening weekend for it being a rated R, a hard R film.
Yeah. Talk about some of the other cast. You know, we got Robert De Niro.
Man.
I loved, you know, Robert De Niro. He has this and The Irishman later this year. We might be in a De Niro renaissance right now. I think I love the idea of the De Niro kind of, they're paying homage to Johnny Carson. He's basically a talk show host at night. And what'd you think about when he goes on a show and the
very ending?
Yeah.
I knew something bad was going to happen.
Did you think that, again, we are in spoilers, did you think he was going to kill De Niro, or do you think he was going to kill himself?
Well, I kind of knew he wasn't going to kill himself, but I kind of, and this is really what made me think that people were going to have an issue with why it wasn't going to be played at that movie theater. I thought he was going to just have a shooting spree on everybody.
Yeah. That's
what as soon as I saw that he had the gun, and he sat down, he started looking at everybody, I thought he was... And then is it the director or the producer when they're in the dressing room?
Yeah, Mark Maron.
The producer was like kind of an ass.
Yeah.
That is what led me to believe that, you know, he's just going to snap and he's going to just blow off
I thought
everybody.
He would kill him, yeah.
I thought he was going to shoot everybody, and I thought he was going to shoot the place up.
Yeah.
So that's when that happened, I'm like, this might get uncomfortable in this theater.
Yeah.
But... I think everybody in the theater expected Robert De Niro to go like that too, because I didn't hear any like gasps or anything like that. So I think it was shot, and I think it was the view and the way he shot him right in the head, and stuff came out. You know, it looked like a Departed movie.
Yeah,
brains going everywhere. I thought it was pretty good.
And I loved, one of the other things I loved about the film was his delusions of grandeur. Like at the beginning when he's watching his show with his mom, and he kind of has this delusion of him being picked out of the audience and saying like, oh, you know, he was just like, Murray, is that what his name is? Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
Murray's just like, oh, you know, so glad you're on my show, you're such an inspiration for people, and then you see that, oh, it's just like him thinking about this. And then the other thing is Zazie Beetz' character. You think all the way through that she's in his life, but it's just another delusion that he's kind of created. Like she
like he never went and kissed her. They never went. Yeah,
none of that happened.
Before I get to my big question, which I kind of played around with and discovered earlier, Brett Cullen as Thomas Wayne.
Yes. Did he not?
You knew when I found out how long he was in the movie, I kind of knew what was coming. I'm like, they have to show that scene.
So did you know that they? Well, you probably didn't. Did you have a theory that they were going to show Bruce's parents' death?
About every other week, I check on IMDb the cast of this movie, and at first it just said Brett Cullen. It didn't show who he played, and then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it showed Thomas Wayne. So when I saw that, and then when I saw Bruce Wayne or young Wayne, I'm like, they've got to be showing the death scene of the parents. But I was gonna say, throughout this movie, I didn't feel sorry for Thomas Wayne at all. He came out on this movie, and he really seemed like a really big prick.
Yeah, and what I love about it is that, you know, they came out right off the bat and said, Batman's not in this movie, don't expect Batman, but they do a really cool way of inserting the mythology of that character in the movie. And, like, I wanted to keep this movie a secret, and so I was, like, kind of blown away that they were doing that they came to that. I
was surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I am glad that they did show pretty much all three Waynes, and then they showed Alfred, and you got to see a really good shot of Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
How about that first scene where Bruce Wayne meets meets Arthur, the Joker, and he plays kind of like hide and go seek, or not hide and go seek, but
a very creepy, like, and then he puts his fingers in his mouth to make him smile.
Yeah.
And they show that in the trailer, not that. Oh, okay, the Joker's going to have a son in this. Okay, that's interesting. But, it's not that at all.
What did you think? I want to talk about the scene right quick where he tried to get the files from Arkham.
Yeah.
And, he struggles, but he ends up getting the papers. Mm-hmm. That whole scene right there was really...
I think it's powerful in that it... like you said, towards the onset of this, is that we've never really had a backstory of Joker, other than maybe a few things, or in Heath Ledger, he just tells stories, but we don't know if it's true. This is kind of like an in-depth. This is how you could see how someone could go from that to this. Yeah,
even in that profile, it almost felt like they didn't say that he was sexually abused.
No,
but I mean,
you could assume.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could assume that he really had a messed up childhood from the moment he got adopted all the way until his mom died, pretty much. One more big thing that I want to talk about was...
I do want to talk about the ending a little bit.
Me too.
But, go ahead.
The two detectives who are kind of chasing him or asking him questions throughout the middle of the movie, I really liked the scene where he's in full gear and he starts dancing on the stairs, and then there's two guys behind him. At first you don't know who they are, but, come to find it's just the detectives, and then the chase continues.
Yeah.
What did you think of the opening chase scene where the kids took his sign?
Man, like that...
you feel bad for him.
Yeah. He's just doing his job, and he gets treated like garbage. And he's literally left in the alleyway by garbage. And I thought this movie did a brilliant job of, like, treading the line of sympathy and then, like... I wouldn't say hatred, but I'd say... consequential. And what I mean by that is just like, by a certain point, up to that point where even when he kills the guys on the train, you kind of sympathize for him in that, like, oh well, he just
they had it coming.
Yeah, but then after he killed his mom, I was like, oh, there's no coming back from that. And that's when he becomes what he is.
Let's go ahead and talk about the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. The
last 20 minutes, you see him in full gear. He goes, after the chase scene, he goes into the studios. He shoots up De Niro, and then it looks like he goes ahead and gets arrested. He gets put in the cop car, and you see the homage paid to Heath Ledger's Joker in the back of a cop car. What did you think of the crash scene when the ambulance hits the car? And the clowns come out and drag him out of the car.
That was cool. And then, like, parallel to that is the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Yep. It's not even a negative. I have nothing negative to say about this movie. But I do kind of wish that it was Arthur, Joker, that killed the parents. I do kind of wish that was it, but just because
that kind of sets up the rivalry between
because
them.
In the comic, in some of the comics, and then in some of the animated series, or in the 1989 Batman, it's the Joker who takes away the parents. So that's kind of that's why I kind of wish that happened, but I still like the way this movie was portrayed.
But I think they could have gone a step further and say that he was the product of an affair with Thomas and his mom, and then he ends up killing Bruce's parents, and that ultimately is a brother versus brother fight. We would never see it, but
when his teeth were knocked out after the crash, and he takes the blood and
smears the smile. Yes.
I was like, I was kind of hoping for like some glass jarred in there. Then you like, oh, there's those scars, something like that. But I want to get to like it's not really almost a fan theory, but I don't know if you've heard it yet that you know how throughout the whole movie you said he's had dream sequences about the girl kissing the girl, and that really didn't happen, or he didn't have any kind of relationship with her. She never went with him to visit his mom in the hospital. What do you think of some of the theories out there that he dreamed this whole thing up, and he was in the mental hospital the entire movie?
That would have been a cool twist.
Because
it wouldn't.
His teeth that were knocked out after the ambulance crash, his teeth are all intact at the very, very end when he's in the straitjacket. And it's almost like he just kind of he dreamed it all up anyway. I don't hope that that's what happened, because
I don't think so.
I really wish that this goes on to another kind of art, another piece of art or another movie. But that was just a theory that I've been reading, and that everybody's like, he just thought all of it up in his head.
That would be cool, but like, it wouldn't explain, if they had came out, if he at the end of the movie was in the insanus at Arkham, basically. And if there was a TV on in the background and Murray was, doing his thing, that would have gave the idea that
That's
he
true.
had thought it up.
Right.
But there's nothing like that.
Right.
And so I take it as he did all this, and what I love that last scene where he's just walking down the white hallway in the blood trail on his feet. I love that, and he's just running back and forth in the hall. It's just like, it's the idea that his chaos will continue, and whether he gets out of this or whatever happens next, and if there's going to be a sequel, that was a perfect ending for me.
I enjoyed the ending a lot. Even if there's just theories, but I enjoyed the hell out of the ending. I really just do hope that this movie just really starts to take off, and it gets bigger than what it already is.
I think it will. Towards we're getting close to the end here, but what do you think this film? I think we were going to do this film, whether it be this opening weekend or we got closer to the Oscars or Blu-ray release. I think at some point we were going to do this.
We still might revisit it when the Blu-ray comes out, because this movie is so diverse and there's so much to talk about that you can't really fit it all into an hour episode.
Yeah.
But people, everybody out there who listen to our podcast and who listen to, the bonus episodes, this is going to be the first bonus episode in a while that is going to be released on all platforms that we have, because people are just...
I'm surprised at how many people want to hear us talk about this movie. From
Thursday all the way till now, I've had emails and text messages and Facebook messages about, have you seen Joker? Have you seen Joker? What are you gonna, what are your thoughts? Like, guys, I won't see it until Sunday. Mainly because everybody knows how huge of a Batman fan I really am. But yeah, this movie, guys, is tremendous.
And if you had seen the movie, and you're listening to this, go see it again. I kind of want to see it again, just so that way I can catch on things I didn't see the first time.
Now that you said that, I was kind of like, this is probably one of the only movies so far this year that I literally could have went into a 12:30 showing right afterwards and sat and watched it one more time.
I'm surprised you didn't.
I could, if it wasn't for this podcast, and if I wasn't so dead tired, I probably would have went and watched one more viewing of it. Like, I'm already making plans to probably go see it either Friday or next Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, go see this movie, guys. We're going to give our star ratings here in a minute. It deserves the opportunity to surprise you.
It is, yeah. And go in with an open mind. We've been saying this for over a year now. Don't expect a Dark Knight action-paced movie, or don't expect a 1989 action-paced movie from Batman.
Don't even expect it to be a superhero movie.
Exactly. Don't even expect it to be an anti-hero movie like Venom.
Like Venom, yeah.
Don't expect anything like that. Go in just expecting a psychological thriller.
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to bring up was the social commentary on our times, is that there's a scene, which one of my favorite scenes was, we need to talk favorite scenes. I guess I'll give mine, was the one where he is informed that his program is being cut, And he's just sitting there like, you don't listen, do you? You ask me the same things every single week, and all I have are negative thoughts. And that, and the therapist, I guess you could say, is like, look, these people don't care about you, they don't care about me. And that is hugely the social commentary that's running the mental illness institution right now in our world.
Yeah.
Is that,
they don't.
There's people that need help, there's people that need medication, there's people that are in trouble, and we just don't have the funds to do it, and that's sad. We have the funds, but those funds are going somewhere that we don't know about. This episode can turn real quick. Political, right? Yeah, but that's I don't want to go there. I love the social commentary of the film. The thing I love about it, and I'll get ready to go ahead and do my scenes, is it's real. Yeah. It doesn't spoon feed you. It kicks you right in the gut and says, "Hey, the real world out there is crappy, and this is how people are treated." Yeah. I have two quick scenes that I'm going to get through. Mine is going to be the scene where he's in the hospital entertaining the kids, and the gun pops out. Yeah. The theater popped big for that one. I really enjoyed that scene for some odd reason. And then the other one is the scene at the end where he's on top of the car dancing and he spreads the blood on his makes a smile out of it. I thought the movie should have ended like that. That would have been a cool, yeah. And I was like, he's got his... As soon as they picked him up and they put him on top of the car, that scene going into him dancing on top of the car, I'm like, that's Joker. He's got his guys around him. He's got that would explain how he has his gang. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I had goosebumps the last 20 minutes of the movie. In another scene, and we'll do grades. The Charlie Chaplin scene where he's in there watching the movie. It's kind of like, and Charlie Chaplin has always been like the original jokester in Hollywood, and I thought that was like a very good homage to pay for him. But the bathroom scene where he's talking to Thomas Wayne, he was like, "Look, kid, I'm not your father. Just quit. Your mother's sick, and you just want revenge, almost, kind of." In Batman Begins, his parents die like in a theater kind of like setting in the alley. I almost thought that Joker would have went behind Thomas Wayne and Abraham Lincoln him right in the back of the head. Yeah. I thought that was going to happen during that scene, but it didn't. But yeah. I could sit here and name 4, 5, 6 good scenes that I really liked, but I really enjoyed this movie. So going into... I think I know what you're going to give this movie, but we're going to do grades. I'll do mine first. Now, granted, guys, I've only seen this movie once. I need to rewatch it again, but as of right now, I'm going to give this a 9. It's definitely in... I don't know if it's in my top 5 of the year, but it is definitely in my top 10. Probably the more I think about it and the more I kind of want to watch it again, it'll rise up in my rankings. But as of right now, I'm going to give it a 9.5. That's really high. And I think this is one of those movies that if you don't like it at first or if you think it's kind of odd, it's one of those movies where you watch it, even if you really enjoy it like we do, if you watch it and think about it, your second viewing is going to be mind-blowing, I think. Yeah. I'm giving it a 10. 10? The performance from Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. Just go for that. Yeah. Just see an actor be what he loves to do. If you want to see some of the best acting this calendar year, or maybe even over the past 18 months, I challenge you, Zach, to rival anybody the past 18 months who's had a performance like he has. I don't think there is. I can give you 2 other movies that, just my personal opinion, maybe rival the movie. I don't think I can come up with an acting just because we still have a couple more months left in the year, but I don't think anyone's going to beat that. I'd say probably The Peanut Butter Falcon, which I know you haven't seen, and then maybe either Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Endgame, which I know is crazy. You can't really compare those 2 films, but out of pure enjoyment. People were talking about Robert Downey Jr. and Endgame being nominated for some kind of award at the end of the year. It's out of the water. It's not even. I don't even think it's going to be close. Mm-hmm. I really love Quentin Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but like I said, to me, it's not even close.
I was gonna do like a 1A, 1B, but it's one and then 2. But I really enjoyed this movie, guys. Go check it out if you enjoy any kind of DC film or DC work. This movie is gonna get a DC plug at least for the next 3 weeks. Joaquin Phoenix, man, he's amazing. I think he's
But
he's great.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't think he's going to win.
I don't think he's going to win either.
Because Heath Ledger's already won for this.
Right.
And the Oscars don't like awarding things that's already been done.
Right. I mean, that's one thing that I noticed, that I don't think he's going to get... I don't think he's going to win because, A, it's the same character.
Yeah.
But I really do hope he gets at least nominated.
Yeah.
Before we end the episode, I will say that Uncut Gems is... I think that's going to be a December episode.
Oh, you think?
There's another guy that I hope he gets nominated.
Does that have anything to do with the Sandman?
Adam Sandler's in the movie. He is. But yeah, do you have any other final thoughts that we might talk about Joker tomorrow during the full length 7 episode.
Yeah.
But
watch I come back tomorrow. It's just like, yeah, I went and saw it again tomorrow afternoon.
I do have some time on my hands tonight. But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to say about the Joker?
No. Guys, go check it out. I think, like I said, it deserves the opportunity to surprise you, and this movie will surprise you in different ways. But yeah, this is Zach signing out.
Guys, go check it out. Directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix. The performance of the year for me. Go check it out. You can catch this episode and every other episode at facebook.com/moviereels405. Instagram us at Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Leave us a voicemail at 405-590-5711. Email us at cinemen921@gmail.com. I got some new emails I'm going to share on the episode tomorrow, and you can catch us tomorrow and every Monday at 9 p.m. And tomorrow we're talking all things 7. So until tomorrow, guys, this is Juan. I hope you guys enjoy the Joker movie, and I hope you guys enjoyed this small little chat and review about the Joker.
What's so funny? Freak!